Miraculous has over a dozen Kwamis, but Season 6 proved we never actually understood what they're capable of. Gimme isn't your average tiny bouncy Kwami. She is massive, silent, and stares into your soul like she already knows exactly how everything ends. She only shows up when someone uses both the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses to make a wish, which usually means reality is about to break in two. Gabriel summoned her like it was just another Tuesday, and she calmly rewrote the universe without even blinking. Gimme doesn't grant wishes, she enforces them. If she ever frowned, the world might not survive it. Ziggy is the goat Kwami, and yes, that means he's shaped like a tiny goat. He lives in a hair clip and gives the power of Genesis, which lets you make anything you imagine real. Literally anything. A ladder, a monster truck, a rainbow chainsaw. If you think it, it exists. Nathaniel uses this power as Capri Kid, but we barely see it. Ziggy has the most busted ability in the show, and they treat him like a side note. Either he's hiding something, or someone upstairs got nervous and pulled the plug. Leary is the Kwami of freedom, and she does not come from Marinette's box. She belongs to the Native American Miracle Box and lives in a pendant shaped like a talon. Her power is called Liberation. It unlocks people's minds and lets them break free from control. She bonds with Jessica Caines, who becomes the hero Eagle. When Leary shows up in the New York special, everything shifts. Paris is no longer the center. There are more boxes, more Kwamis, more secrets. Leary proves this magic isn't local. It's everywhere. Fluff is the rabbit Kwami, and her power is time travel. She lives in a pocket watch and gives her holder the ability to open portals to any moment in history using Burrow. Alex becomes Bunnix and takes on this job full-time, probably because no one else could handle it without breaking the universe. Fluff looks harmless, but her power is anything but safe. One wrong move, and you're stuck in the Stone Age. Oriko is the rooster Kwami, and his power makes no sense in the best way. His ability, sublimation, lets the holder pick any skill they want. No limits, no rules, just choose something and use it. 1 second you have laser vision, the next you're turning invisible or flying through walls. Mark becomes Rooster Bold and uses this once, then disappears like it was nothing. Oriko barely gets screen time, even though his power could break the world in two. Either he's being ignored or he's hiding something no one's ready for. Zupu is the monkey Kwami, and his power, Uproar, shuts powers down by turning them into nonsense. Whatever ability someone's using gets scrambled into something useless. Kim gets the monkey Miraculous and becomes King Monkey, which fits, since neither of them has an off switch. Zupu acts like a joke, but that's the trick. He hides chaos behind clown energy. He's not harmless. He's a walking error message that laughs while reality crashes around him. Daisy is the pig Kwami, and her power is Jubilation. It doesn't hurt anyone, it just shows them their happiest dream. That sounds harmless, but it's exactly what makes it dangerous. Enemies drop their weapons, freeze mid-attack, and fall into a dream they don't want to leave. Rose becomes Pagella and uses it with full trust, but the real power sits with Daisy. She looks soft, talks sweet, and shuts you down without lifting a finger. Kalki is the horse Kwami, and her power is Voyage. She opens portals that teleport anything, anywhere, instantly. Max uses it to become Pegasus, and with him, it mostly works. But Kalki doesn't always wait for instructions. She once teleported a piano into orbit for no reason. She's precise, proud, and treats basic travel like a performance. When she's in control, it feels like the laws of space barely apply. She doesn't care where you want to go. She decides where you should go, and she might not warn you first. Dusu is the peacock Kwami, and she's barely holding it together. Her Miraculous was damaged for years, which is why she's anxious, overly emotional, and constantly on the edge of falling apart. Her power creates Sentimonsters, living beings made from emotions and controlled by whoever holds her feather. It's powerful, but dangerous. Felix uses it to become Argos and even anchor his own existence. Bark, the dog Kwami, bonds with a collar-shaped Miraculous and hands you Fetch, a power that yanks back any object your fingers already tagged. That trick sounds tame until you realize it laughs at distance, locks, and even pocket dimensions. Sabrina wielded it as Miss Hound, but Season 6 showed Bark's quieter bite. She watched Sabrina's messy break from Chloe, fetched stolen confidence, and slipped sharp advice between wagging jokes. Roar is the tiger Kwami, and her power is clout, one strike packed with raw force. She bonded with the tiger Miraculous and chose Juleka, who barely spoke and avoided crowds. Strange match, but it changed everything. Juleka went from whispering in corners to smashing through walls as Purple Tigress. Sass is the snake Kwami, and his power, Second Chance, lets the user rewind time and redo a moment. It sounds like an easy fix, but one wrong reset can wreck everything. Luca used it as Viperian and carried the weight like it was nothing, but the pressure is brutal. Sass never shows fear. He speaks like he's watched the same disaster play out over and over. Pollen is the bee Kwami, and her power, Venom, stops enemies cold with a single sting. No warning, no struggle, just instant paralysis. But the chaos comes from her holders. First, she worked with Chloe, who craved praise more than purpose. That ended with betrayal and exile. Then Zoe took over, forced to fix everything Chloe broke. Stomp is the ox Kwami, and his power gives the holder unstoppable resistance. You don't dodge attacks, you walk through them. Yvonne used it as Minotaurx and became a full-on tank. But Stomp didn't stick around. No speeches, no bonding, just one big fight, and he was out. For a Kwami that represents determination, he barely tries to stay on screen. Maybe he doesn't need the spotlight. Maybe he just shows up, crushes chaos, and leaves before anyone asks questions. Mulo is the mouse Kwami, and her power, multiplication, splits the holder into dozens of tiny clones while shrinking them down. It's weird, fast, and overwhelming, exactly how she likes it. She's loud, quick, and always sounds like she's late for something. Marinette used her once, but Mylène became the true match. Calm, focused, and quiet, Mylène turns Mulo's chaos into strategy. Waze is the turtle Kwami, and his power creates a shield that blocks nearly anything. Nino uses it as carapace, but Waze's real role started with Master Fu. He wasn't just a helper, he was the quiet mind behind big decisions. He speaks slow, thinks faster, and never reacts unless it matters. Even after Fu lost his memory, Waze stayed. Not out of duty, but because he already knew how badly everyone else might mess things up. Trix is the fox Kwami, and his power, illusion, creates fake images that look completely real, even to sensors and cameras. The user can build whole environments, disguise people, or make enemies chase shadows. Alia uses it as Reina Rouge, often to confuse villains or protect identities. Trix is smart, fast-talking, and fully aware of how powerful he is. When he acted without a holder, he nearly wrecked Paris with a massive illusion. The Eiffel Tower danced. That wasn't helpful. Trix blurs the line between trick and truth, and the real danger is how easily he makes you believe him. Long is the dragon Kwami, and her power grants control over 3 elements: water, wind, and lightning. Kagami uses the choker to become Ryuko, but Long doesn't hand out power without limits. Once all 3 elements are used, there's a 5-minute timer before the transformation ends. Long speaks like a teacher and moves like she's above conflict, but she's built for destruction. Her calm voice hides the fact she could wipe out a city block without blinking. She's not loud. She doesn't need to be. Tiki is the Kwami of creation. She gives the power to summon a lucky charm and purify corrupted objects called Akamas. Marinette uses her to become Ladybug and fix almost every disaster in Paris. Tiki has guided holders for centuries and usually stays calm, focused, and wise. But in Season 4, she lost control over a galette obsession and activated the lucky charm herself, without permission. She summoned a giant pancake that nearly crushed a city block. She's powerful, ancient, and smart, but even she can break under pressure and cause total chaos over dessert. Plague is the Kwami of destruction. His power, Cataclysm, destroys anything he touches. Adrien uses it to become Cat Noir, but controlling Plague is another story. He's lazy, rude, and obsessed with Camembert, but underneath the jokes is pure danger. In Season 5, he used Cataclysm on his own ring to stop Monarch, triggering an explosion that nearly leveled Paris. He didn't hesitate. He barely blinked. Plague isn't reckless. He just doesn't care about consequences. He's chaos in a black furball, and somehow Adrien trusts him anyway. Nuru is the Kwami of transmission. His power lets the user send magical energy into objects and turn people into superpowered allies, or weapons. Gabriel Agreste used it as Hawk Moth, then Monarch, for years. Nuru followed orders, even when they were clearly wrong. Now the Miraculous belongs to Cerise Bianca, who's already using it for her own twisted plans. Nuru never fights back. He just obeys, no matter who holds the brooch. And that's every Kwami revealed, including the ones the show barely lets breathe. Some are cute, some are terrifying, and a few could probably destroy reality in 5 seconds. But here's the real question: which Kwami would actually make the best villain? Drop your theories below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns that go where the show won't.